parti. Fantasy, violence, langage grossier. C'est parti. Allez, c'est parti les amis, on est bien.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Hogwarts Legacy gameplay stream. I'm Chandler Wood, Community Manager here at Avalanche Software, and we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to show you today. But before we get into showing you the game and gameplay, I have a few wonderful guests that I need to introduce you to. First up, we have our community guest host. He brings you the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. He's the local Merlin conspiracy theorist.
Guilty as charged, yes.
One half of Expecto Go,
Yeah.
James Whitehead.
Thanks, Chandler. Yes, I'm James Whitehead of Expecto Go, bringing you guys the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. And I am one half of Expecto Go, the other half, my wife Sue, represents that other half. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Avalanche Software, for inviting me. I cannot wait to go over this gameplay. I just got to say that.
Welcome, thank you for being here. And we've got two people from the studio, just two of the many people bringing this thing together, the magic of Hogwarts Legacy. Game director, Alan Tu.
Hello, everyone.
And senior environment artist and Hogwarts expert, Boston Madsen. So thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules right now to sit down with us to help us show everybody gameplay. So what we're going to be showing you today, first, the character creator, because it's your legacy, and you have to create yourself when you get into to get into Hogwarts and bring your whole authentic self to Hogwarts. So we're going to show you that character creator. Then we're going to dive into a tour.
Je suis de
of
retour
Hogwarts,
les
and
amis.
it is
Alors, en gros,
just a small tour of Hogwarts, right?
il y a
Hogwarts is
en gros
huge.
juste,
Hogwarts is
c'est
really
juste
big.
des gens fans de
So,
Hogwarts
we're gonna be
Legacy
showing
qui,
you a little bit, but it's still
qui
a
sont sur le
lot.
plateau
So,
et qui vont discuter, je
and
pense, de
finally,
pourquoi,
ending
du
up
comment
with,
ils aiment
combat.
pourquoi
A little taste of
Harry
combat,
Potter.
a little taste of how all that works. Just a little taste.
Et je pense que le présentateur, c'est quelqu'un qui est du développement du jeu, je pense, si j'ai bien compris. Ils vont débattre, discuter sur la licence.
Andrew, who is going to be doing all of our gameplay capture today,
Ça va être, je pense, une grosse session.
Oh my gosh. All right,
Et il va pouvoir y jouer, vraisemblablement.
All right, so what are we looking at right here on this screen?
These are your presets. So a lot like other games, there's some initial settings that you can choose for your character that just kind of get them into like the ballpark of what you want to be, who you want to be, and what you want to change.
Oh man.
And then once you're in that ballpark, all the other tabs let you dial that in, be exactly who you want to be. It's our goal with this is to make sure that for anyone that fantasized about bringing themselves to the school for the very first time, that they feel like they have the options in order to represent who they are and essentially bring themselves to Hogwarts or whatever character they want to bring to Hogwarts.
Oh my God, and options galore. Do you mind if I try?
Donc là, il y a la personnalisation de personnage qui est véritablement, vraisemblablement, hein, assez dense, assez complète. On va pouvoir faire un truc assez stylé. Très bien, pourquoi pas.
We're pretty close, but let's look at everything here. You know, play around with some of these options, like really.
All right, so what are we looking at with this option over here with the tab? I see face stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of the different faces that you saw in the previous screen, all those faces are choices that you have here. So you can, now you're just kind of getting into
Il y a plusieurs typologies de visages.
Color, and then because we knew a lot of people going right in are going to want it right away. Even though it's an option later in the game, you can
vous savez que je suis pas
put them on later. We give you some options right up front if you want to have glasses.
Très grand fan de personnalisation.
Oh my gosh, look at the structure of the faces.
Enfin, du moins, je me prends pas la tête, quoi.
Wow. I like that. I don't think my face is that skinny, but I think we'll go with that. I think we'll go that route. And down here is this.
Those are your glasses there. Yeah.
Oh, so we started. We could go Harry Potter if we want. Off the jump.
Trois types de lunettes.
Man. And this is just some of the options, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so through the course of the game, there's a lot of different options that you'll keep unlocking.
Okay.
So as part of kind of like gear for the character, there's lots of
Et
different
j'en
classes.
profite que
there's even
pour dire
masks,
que
there's all kinds
là,
of
bah,
things,
vous avez le
over the
visage quand
course
même
of the
assez,
game
assez
for-
proche. Au niveau des visages, comme ça, hein,
Such a good call.
ça a l'air
Oh my gosh. All right, so now,
un peu mieux.
Oh, we can go fleek on this one with the hair.
I spend a lot of time here just like dreaming about my different characters. And what
Oh
they're gonna
my
do.
gosh, the pony. The thing I'm always amazed by whenever I see any aspects of Hogwarts Legacy's character creator is just the texture. And like you even adding the bounce with the hair moving around. Yo, that kind of looks like Hermione a little bit. I'm not even gonna just like I'm not afraid. And we can just go, can I go like Tonks purple or green a little bit?
Absolutely.
Oh. Yo, this is so cool. Oh, I like that. That is cute. Oh, okay, so little behind the scenes. I used to have this type of hair like way back, but
Was it purple?
I wanted silver tips. So
Bon, là,
that
ils
was the closest
s'amusent.
I
Hein.
got to
Ils sont en train de
but-
s'amuser là.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. So you
Bah, nous, on
literally
veut du
can bring
gameplay,
yourself,
merci.
like,
C'est bon, on a
this-
compris
there's a
que, bon.
myriad of textures and different hairstyles
Ah, c'est
here.
moche.
All right, so
Oh,
now we get over here to play around with some of the.
These are more subtle options. We've
Okay.
got freckles, moles, different things like when it comes to your complexion, like darker eyes,
Mhm,
maybe like
mhm.
some shading on the cheeks.
Oh man, you guys literally thought of everything with this.
I do have a bit of fun with that. And then the scars are one of those options where, Harry had his own unique scar, but you can come in with different scar options.
Yeah. Oh wow! Look at that. I didn't even see that.
Ça va durer, je pense.
Those are my favorite. The eyebrow
Yeah,
scars.
yeah.
Très longtemps.
Love those.
Yeah, you look kind
It's
of
a
like
classic.
Yeah, you look kind of just like tough. But anyway, so now we're over here. Oh man, you guys, this is so sick.
Again, getting more subtle here, really like dialing in that face to really get your.
I don't know how revealing I want to be with my facial features now. Just like, yeah, I kind of have a big face. Yeah, my eyebrows kind of sit kind of low. But I mean, literally, you have so many options just starting the game. I feel like I'm going to be here like forever.
You and me both.
And then this final tab here, this is where you kind of bring your whole character together. This is where you finalize everything. You're not choosing your house here.
Okay.
That's not yet.
That was a theory.
But here's where you bring you choose voice 1 or voice 2, which is more kind of a masculine or a feminine voice, and then even within that, changing your pitch,
with
the pitch slider.
It's a subtle slider, but
Yeah.
but you can hear it,
Concerned about.
That was quite something.
and so you can kind of make out the differences. But yeah, you choose which
Alors,
voice that you want.
Là, il y a deux voix.
You'll be selecting
Une
difficulty
voix
here.
1,
For
une
today,
voix
we'll just
2,
go normal
hommes et
voice.
femmes, je pense.
Andrew's going to be taking us through some of the
Là,
experiences
on
of combat
fait
later.
And we can talk a little more about
on choisit
difficulty,
la
yeah, with
difficulté du
combat
jeu,
and how
normal,
that plays
hazy,
in.
story.
But I think the
Story
important
qui
thing
est un
here
mode
is
de
like,
difficulté de plus en plus
for people
répandu,
who aren't gamers,
et à raison,
especially,
et heureusement,
story mode is a way to get
sur
into
le
this
fait
without being
que
worried about like, oh, do I
c'est
need to
plus
be
facile
good
que
at
facile en
games?
fait.
Like, no, just enjoy this game.
Tu veux te concentrer que sur l'histoire, tu veux pas te chercher à mourir 25 000 fois.
Awesome.
And then whether you want to be witch
Ah
or
oui,
wizard.
bah, donc, du coup, tu as le choix du coup.
What do you think, character creator? We're good?
I'm good. Let's explore Hogwarts and let's get into some combat.
All right. Through the magic of using a dev kit, we're going to be loading up a
Bon,
save
allez,
a little later
il faut voir du gameplay là.
so
C'est
that we
mignon
can
les
show
petits
you
fans
more
qui
about
arrivent sur le
Hogwarts
plateau
and
pour.
give you that taste of combat.
Bah, mais
All right,
allez.
Andrew's got some
Ah,
gameplay pulled
alors,
up for us
déjà
here.
visuellement
We
quand même,
are,
on peut se
starting out,
dire,
James, there
il
you
y a eu
are,
un
you're
gap.
in the House
Véritable.
of
Alors c'est toujours du
Rose,
in-game,
from the
footage, in working
Yeah,
progress,
I
hein,
do
attention.
look
hein.
good.
Donc
And this is our
c'est
first
pas
look at
encore
the
fini,
Hufflepuff
les choses
Common
peuvent
Room,
être encore
I
plus
mean, dorm
peaufinées,
room.
Dorm room.
mais
Yeah,
je
yeah.
trouve
This is awesome.
que
But
par
Alan,
rapport à la
what
dernière
are we-
fois où vous
what are
avez
we
montré le
seeing
jeu, qu'il y a
right here with the UI?
une
'Cause this is our
amélioration.
first look.
assez...
Right now, we know there's been a
Voilà,
lot of
enfin,
questions about,
je le vois qu'il y a une amélioration. Les effets de lumière sont beaucoup mieux faits. Les textures beaucoup plus peaufinées. Voilà, enfin, je trouve qu'il y a vraiment un truc qui a été bien fait.
So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can earn over the course of the game.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of, not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell. There are certain spells that are used in very specific contexts, or that we just want on the controller at all times. And Revelio is one of those. That's left on the D-pad. On the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there, you know, like what are all the spells and what can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone. And then on the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. And so that's where you would access them rapidly is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way on the left is our mini-map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in your common room that updates as you travel through Hogwarts and beyond out into the world. And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of minimaps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the minimap and turn on or off different elements of our HUD.
Really immerse yourself.
And we'll go more into the spells as we get into combat, but that's kind of, that's what you're seeing there. And this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want to call out, I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the dormitories. Very nice bedside tables.
They are nice bedside tables.
Yeah.
The honey-colored wood was mentioned in the writing. It's part of lore.
It's part of lore. There we go. All right.
So now we're walking out into...
We really tried making these low-ceilinged dorms to give you that Badger set sort of feel.
And the first thing I know is the music. The score is amazing with this.
Gorgeous.
And I'm calling out here, this is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room. Go back to those Common Room videos we released, you'll notice the music's a little bit different, and that is entirely intentional.
We just want to welcome you to your common room in every single house, just a little bit differently. Begin customizing that experience right away.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Look at that.
So I mean, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over.
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writings for this common room. The round doors, the hanging vines, even the dancing badgers on the fireplace.
It's got a real earthy vibe.
Yeah.
It's very, very earthy.
Which is like elements for each of the houses, right?
Hufflepuff is earth, Ravenclaw's air, Gryffindor is fire, and Slytherin is water. We really leaned into that for each common room.
Wow.
So it feels earthy. We've got a little earthen passageway. That's what we were. Hopefully, it should feel very familiar.
Yeah, it does.
Je trouve qu'il y a eu un...
But I know you don't want to leave, but we're going to be leaving.
Thank you. I understand. Whoa, the sound effects though. Like, looking back at the past trailers, it was just music.
Je trouve qu'il y a eu
hearing how Hogwarts is now.
Un gap
So cool.
de franchi.
Yeah.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Use Revelio right here, because there's a little magic going on.
You notice a little something there. Yeah. So these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we got some XP for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also see that we've advanced something called like a field guide challenge up in the corner. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So we had to ask ourselves, what?
Continue, I'm sorry.
There may be something you may or may not be able to tickle there.
Yeah.
But in our game, we had to answer the question, you know, we're a late fifth year. What does that mean? How do we catch up to the other students?
Okay.
And so we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's Field Guide that's granted to you early on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before you push forward a little bit, you can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide. And you can see your house kind of crest
in the middle,
overlaid
yeah.
over it.
Okay,
Right? And you
okay.
can see that on your level as well. So that the field guide has this magical property of looking out into the world.
On aura
around you.
des
One of the reasons
compétences,
why it's on
des
level
arbres de
of Ministry of
compétences,
Magic,
bien
and
évidemment.
Professor Oak granted it to you as a late
Bon,
fifth
bah,
year
jusqu'à là,
student
ça révolutionne
is
pas.
because they want it to help you
Voilà,
catch
hein.
up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is, as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of
On the bottom.
locked into there.
Okay.
And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest
Wow.
challenges,
Ça
exploration
révolutionne
challenges.
pas
And
des
you can
masses
see
là pour le
field guide
moment, mais
pages around
bon.
there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
Mais graphiquement, ça a quand même, je pense, un peu évolué.
that entire category is one of
On
the
va
ways
pas,
that
voilà.
the book itself kind of fills out into the school and spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do around the school that you're
That is
actually going
so
to
cool.
interact with to help you
Déjà
grow as a
16
wizard and
minutes, hein, les
practice
amis,
your
il se passe
spells.
pas des masses.
And so
Hein.
that thing that we just saw is not just a field guide challenge and a way to earn
Yeah.
XP. It's also something that that players can use to learn about the school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game discovering all of them. And there are over 100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone. So,
Little glimpse of the grand
Pour que vous
staircase
voyez
here.
bien
We're not
un
gonna-
petit peu tout là.
Circular staircase
All
to
the
match the tower.
portraits.
Yeah.
And I did notice the blue flame just ignite right there, which was so cool.
yeah.
Oh man.
Fast travel points there.
Voilà. Et
House hour
là,
glasses,
ici,
we had
juste
to-
en bas,
I-
il y a,
much
on
fun
appuie
was
sur R2, on
designing
peut avoir
those and putting
accès
all
à
those in there.
toutes
But-
nos
But they're
compétences
just like
qu'on a
in the
mis dans
book.
notre inventaire
Yes.
pour les
Next to the Great
utiliser.
Hall.
It's a nod to
Yeah.
lore. House points is not a core mechanic or system in the game.
We
It
didn't,
is
we didn't turn it
narratively.
into like a gameplay system, but it's definitely present throughout our narrative. And there are lots of choices where we want to nod to things that aren't,
Ah,
aren't
juste
necessarily
ici.
gameplay systems,
Ici, là.
but we nod to them
Juste
as,
là.
as part of the narrative.
Tout,
Over
tout
to
ce,
the right
ce
there,
truc-là.
Andrew was teasing
Bah,
that's
ça,
the Great Hall.
typiquement,
Opening
les
those
amis,
doors. Again,
vous
we're not
pourrez,
going there. He's just kind of
c'est un
like,
inventaire rapide pour utiliser ça pendant des combats.
Cool, cool.
Et ça, c'est des mécaniques de
here's another
gameplay
collectible
vieilles comme le
page,
monde.
you
Hein.
know, just again showing you like just these things around Hogwarts that you can do and pick up and
That's a shot straight from the trailer too.
Et puis,
that part right there.
work in
I
progress,
recognize
hein.
that.
might be giving you a little
Gaming
fan service
footage.
here with,
Ok, c'est
with
pas
callbacks to
fini,
those,
fini, hein.
so.
And this must be summertime.
Le
I
jeu
noticed
sort en
these are
février,
the
ils ont encore un peu de
summertime
temps.
windows. These windows will
Il aurait
change
dû,
with the season.
il aurait dû marquer
The
la
detail
fin
of
de
this
l'année
is
pour
kind of-
Noël.
I get surprised by it all the time.
Eh ben non.
That's
I didn't
a
even know that was a
sentient
thing.
magic castle. So.
Oh man. And we're going out.
Allez, on va
Look at
voir
that.
le
Where
dehors.
the students would
On va
normally
voir
kind
un
of
petit peu ce qui se
congregate,
passe.
just, kind of chill out, play, meet each other
Les
outside
effets
the
de
Great
lumière,
Hall
là.
before and after meals.
Les flaques d'eau, le ray tracing, les amis.
And I love the way that
C'est
when
quand même
the castle
très joli.
interconnects
Je trouve
to,
que ça a eu
that it interconnects
un gap
outside, inside.
assez
There are
conséquent.
pathways on both sides of things, so you really get a sense of scope
Yeah.
to how
Viaduc.
big this
And,
castle
and when
is.
you see things like you'll notice a bridge over there. That's a place you can go to and cross. Like
Yeah.
everything that you see is a place that you can visit.
Wow.
We put a lot of effort in making it feel really alive. Not just with student population, but even just the greenery and stuff. It's Scotland.
Yeah.
And this castle's been here for hundreds of years. So just kind of the moss and all the trees that have overgrown it and
Oh my gosh.
that landscape, that
This
Scottish.
location might look a little familiar to you.
I thought I recognized it. I believe this is from the Spring ASMR, and yes, so that puzzle right there, that view, Andrew is taking us right back to
I am
that.
going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on. We can't spoil everything.
Bon
We
bah,
can't
nous
give you
avons vu
everything.
brièvement l'extérieur.
Oh my god.
But this is this grand entryway right here coming down into a really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we pointed out the greenhouse outside, and we'll notice when we get down there that it's on the right.
This is a big hub of the school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a grand central station.
I love that. I love
Each
that.
direction, it's green over there, so the greenhouse is over there. Transfiguration courtyard, the library straight ahead. So it's kind of a the hub
Oh my
of a
god.
lot of the castle.
Even the color visually, you can just tell, okay, green,
Oh, green, go
greenhouse.
that way.
Oh my god.
A lot of it'll be subconscious, but
Yeah.
it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you know your way around.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it
It
on a
is a
daily
castle.
basis.
It
It's a
is.
castle.
Great point.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yeah.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm
from the reveal trailer. There's that dragon. Oh my
This
god.
is another location where the students will gather, you know, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody, get a quest giver here.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumor is that a former
Vous avez vu quand même les visages.
Professor Mole
Les visages sont quand même
conjured them
mieux
to
détaillés.
protect the
Sont quand même
contents of
mieux faits, je trouve, que par rapport à la première
certain
présentation
cabinets years ago.
faite il y a
Professor
quasiment un
Black
an,
couldn't
plus d'un
be
an.
bothered to disenchant
Je trouve
these,
ça
and
beaucoup
they
mieux,
appear every
personnellement.
few years. You should try to catch one.
Déjà 21
Why would I do
minutes
that?
de gameplay, les
Each
amis.
key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
So those kind of side quests are really, it's a cool way
Okay.
to interact with your fellow students, with perhaps other teachers, with, you know, various things like that, as well as
Par
teach
contre,
you some
leur
more of the secrets of Hogwarts,
plateau
I
est
think.
quand même
There's
assez
a little
beau.
bit of that.
Avec les petits
Yeah.
décors, les
So
petits...
the students are a way to kind of like flesh
trouve ça
out
quand
the
même
school
assez
opportunities
joli.
around it, what we can do, and then those interactions, different interactions with different characters can also offer different choice points for the player, and then some of those things can affect things game wide. Some of these affect characters' lives, the ending of the game.
And sometimes it's just about you being a little bit of a
Sometimes
nice
just about
guy
the
or just
mission.
being a jerk.
Yes, absolutely. So the scale really varies, but those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at this.
This is the Dada Defense Against the Dark
C'est
Arts.
magnifique,
Which-
les
this
amis.
is one of my
Regardez-moi
favorite
ça, c'est
locations in
très
the castle.
joli.
Just visually, you come in here and just the
Les effets du ray
richness of the
tracing,
area.
regardez en bas là,
Very unique,
avec
Anywhere else
les effets
in
de
the castle.
lumière,
Somebody else that we can talk to, notably a
Les reflets
younger student.
Yeah, she
de
looks
l'eau,
like a first year or an
des
11-year-old.
tableaux
Are you all right?
sur les murs.
Zenobia Nope,
Regardez derrière la petite
the
fille.
girl whom everyone at school
Derrière la
hates
petite
for
fille.
no reason.
Vous avez vu? Il y a quand même des
Everyone
choses qui
hates
sont
you.
extrêmement belles.
Because Hogwarts is full of
Bon, là, on
bullies
voit
and
pas,
spoil
malheureusement.
sports.
Mais c'est pas
Leander
grave, mais
Pruitt's one of the worst. That
enfin,
no
je
talent
trouve,
moon
il y a
mind.
quand même eu
I
quelque
wanted to
chose
make
de
some new
changé. Il y a quand même
friends, and so I brought my
visuellement
collection down to the
quelque
common
chose de
room.
dingue qui a
My
vraiment
Gobstone collection,
évolué.
that is. I was hoping someone would want to play.
Il y a encore,
Finally,
regardez,
Gobstones,
le mur
little
derrière la
balls,
petite fille là.
like
Il y a le
marbles.
reflet des lumières,
Grand game. And if
du
you lose,
soleil
they
et
spray
de
you
ce
with
qui
a
entoure.
foul-smelling
C'est
liquid.
extrêmement joli. Pareil derrière là, le mur là, un peu brisé.
I haven't much
Vous avez vu,
interest
il y a
in a
même,
game that
il y a
sprays you with
carrément
odors.
les
Only
reflets
if you lose,
de la
which I
pièce.
never do.
C'est,
Or at
c'est,
least not
waouh.
often. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all
Visuellement,
over
c'est
smelly
joli.
Gobstone spit, it's their
Il y a eu
own
quelque chose.
fault for losing.
Il y a eu
Imelda is one of the worst
un déclic.
losers.
Je ne sais
Everett
pas,
and
mais
Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
il y aura visiblement des choix à faire pendant les discussions
Sounds as if
qui
you
auront
caused the smelly
des
situation
impacts
and they responded
scénaristiques
accordingly.
majeurs sur
I didn't
l'aventure.
make the rules. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented fifth year to help me.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her. You can be a jerk to her. You can be like, Gobstone sounds awful. It sounds like you're just mean.
Yeah, and your opportunities to be mean there aren't over. So,
they continue.
That's a good example of the
Gobstones too. I know people are gonna ask. Gobstone's playable. They mentioned it, right?
Yeah.
Ils sont en train de regarder un gameplay.
One of the things that is not playable in the game.
Il le commente.
3
fans et vraisemblablement un développeur. Le présentateur du jeu, ouais, c'est ça. Si j'ai bien compris, c'est ça le truc.
Like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the bucket. Just kind of for the overall
Wizard's Chess.
Those are things that aren't featured.
Yeah. They're featured within the world. Right?
I'm glad they're mentioned. They're a part of the wizarding world.
Yeah. Every single time there was something that we regretted because we couldn't include it. We also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, you know, and make it feel like it's definitely part of the world.
And I know here too, we're like,
I was like, we're in the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. I recognize that staircase to the left where we were just at. Andrew was walking by. I also recognize the dragon at the very top. Oh my gosh.
Being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes work, because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. Is it a schedule-based system? Is it so tell us how classes work.
Yeah, so ultimately decided not to go the sim route. So I think like one of the speculations was, is there time of day? And
c'est fourni de détails.
Like, can I miss class at this time of day?
There is a day-night cycle.
Yeah, there is a day-night cycle, but everything is very narrative-based, and so there's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative, each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also appear on the sides as well as optional things that help you advance your spells. It's absolutely true that classes provide all of your major tools throughout
les tableaux, regardez.
Your spells, your major abilities, you get to know the professors.
Vous avez vu quand même les effets de réflexion sur les divers objets dans la pièce.
There are also additional opportunities outside of that through kind of like side classroom missions essentially, where you can learn additional spells or things that you need in your adventure and also get to know the professors better.
And I just want to call out something that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment and just engage with the world. And, you know, maybe down there he's sipping some tea with the
Victorian high
society.
High society. And it's no wonder you like this area because we built
il a pas l'air
like
hyper buggé que ça.
Slytherin.
Un peu d'extérieur.
Well, like, speaking of lived in, like, the sound effects again, the chatter of the communication that's happening and the footsteps, like, it just makes it feel more alive.
Little events like that, the brooms going by
I just saw
overhead.
a broom go by. Love that. The data tower was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts. It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player, help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the Marauders map. But every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality.
Et puis, il n'y a pas de problème de framerate. Hein.
Personality, I like that. Because it does, like, Hogwarts has character. Hogwarts is its own character no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Feels just a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's a sentient castle full of magic for hundreds of years. Yeah. It's going to kind of grow and develop. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic, Mr. Magic himself.
My future poltergeist too.
You know, we talked about building on lore too. I know there's that statue over to the side.
Oh, yeah?
That's
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky, and he's got his Bowtruckle friend. And I think if players don't know, there's another Revelio page there.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady hides there.
Hides behind it. That's right.
The third book. But sometimes a hallway has personality by how it looks, or we just passed a music hallway where the portraits have kind of taken it over, and so the sound makes it really unique.
All right, I got to call this out here. I know there's been some criticism in the past that our trailers and our gameplay and what we've shown so far has not had enough owls. Okay, so here we are. at the owlry. We're looking directly at the owlry to show you all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
It's a lot of owls at the owlry.
I love
all
the
owls.
fog rolling down that.
Great callback. Great call.
But no, I also love that as one of my favorite things about just kind of going around on the outside of the school is that all those things that I see are places that I can go to, that I can visit. I just love that sensation knowing that is real.
That lovely Scottish countryside.
We're kind of closing out our mini tour of Hogwarts, and again, it was but a fraction of this enormous castle. But we're closing it out here in the Clock Tower, so another recognizable location.
Yeah.
But this is where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here.
Who's in a younger year, but we kind of like that that he's running things.
Alors, vraisemblablement, c'est un petit peu comme la déception,
Hello,
je
Lucan.
trouve.
May I use the
Apparemment, les seules personnes qui pourront être en contact avec vous dans le jeu, ce sont les gens qui auront ce petit rond par terre, lumineux. Là, vous pourrez discuter, mais visiblement, les gens qui n'auront pas ce petit rond lumineux par terre, vous ne pourrez pas avoir de contact avec eux, avoir l'interaction. J'ai l'impression que c'est quand même un peu dirigiste et un peu scénarisé.
Combat and combos in a big way and in a new way. For me personally, this was where the game really starts to open up to possibilities.
Quand même
we've set up
assez léger
we've set up
comme
a training
déception.
dummy,
Hein,
and
vous en
this is kind of an
conviendrez.
activity where you're supposed to execute according to
continue.
kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots. There are certain spells what the wizards kind of like use, just kind of fling. Andrew's using one now. And you trigger that by tapping
On va
R2
pouvoir
on
visiblement
your controller. So
s'entraîner
you can
sur
see
des
in the corner
mannequins
R2.
dans
So if you
des
tap
salles
R2, that throws out
spéciales,
basic shots.
spécialisées
But
dans
R2 is
tout
also
cela,
the
très
gateway
bien.
to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts.
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the
32
game,
minutes de
you can
gameplay déjà
gain,
présenté.
Additional spell diamonds up to
Ça va pas
4
durer une
additional
heure,
ones,
c'est
so that
sûr, mais
you can slot up to 16
un
spells,
beau-
you know, pretty much
Voilà, c'est un
instantly.
beau
And then
morceau,
that
je trouve
helped
déjà.
us fulfill the fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access things very rapidly.
Yeah.
And so you learn over the course of these events, you know, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again,
Right.
you can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel. And then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things, like cooldowns through your talents, different things that allow you to kind of like juggle and adjust and update those things. And so if you hold down R2 and you tap the D-pad, it will switch between your other diamonds if you've unlocked them, and that's how you access all those.
Oh man. It looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together,
So you use
pull those
Leviosa
combos
right
together.
Here. Yeah. Tap, Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome. Good
done,
job,
Andrew.
Andrew.
And that's just against the dummy, but I mean,
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Bon,
Thank
très
you,
bien.
Lucan.
I
On
see
a
better to just go
réussi
one's
notre
weaknesses during
contrat,
practice
notre
than during
mission.
a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
I think now we can take on something
Okay.
a little more challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more features of the
Et chaque
combat system.
personnage,
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of Crossed Wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
We're on a PS5 dev kit here, so we're going to be able to kind of pause
I'm
the
ready.
action
Yeah.
and talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there's about to be a lot going on.
Okay.
All right, here you can select if you want to fight with somebody else, some of
One
your
of the other
classmates.
students.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're not. We want that action to feel a little more frantic towards you to really get you that sense of
Okay.
of combat.
So
Ready to
apparently
get
you've
thrashed.
got quite the reputation because they've got you up against 3
Yeah,
people.
3, yeah.
Apologies.
Off the jump.
So I can explain this just because I know people are going to go into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in. You're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too. And we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting. So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters. And you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we're trying to put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are, I'm forgetting the other one, all this control spells. And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator for which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying on things.
We've got this paused here
Le
now.
jeu il bug
You
là.
kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's
Give us
going
a breakdown
on.
of different things that
Le
you're
jeu
saying.
bug.
So you notice at the top that we're kind of like
Ah non,
calling
ils ont
out
fait-
which enemy you've
Je
kind of
comprends
like targeted and their level and health. And so, you know, as you target different characters,
Là,
you'll
je
be
pense
able
qu'ils
to
sont en
get
train de
that
débattre sur les
breakdown.
techniques de combat utilisées dans le jeu.
The
Ils doivent
halo
comparer au
over
film et
your
au livre. Je
head,
pense qu'ils doivent faire
whenever
ça,
an
je
enemy is
pense.
about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an
J'espère
incoming
qu'ils
attack, and if you
qu'ils trouvent
tap
ça quand
the
même,
triangle button by default, then that you'll be able to deflect that attack that comes in and off with the Protego.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits things up and
Le
breaks
jeu
things off walls.
bug
But
où il est
also,
en
if you
pause.
hold the
Je
button,
comprends
then
pas.
It doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter attack stupefy
Ah,
that actually stuns
c'est
the
revenu.
enemy. And you can use that even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character, you know, and you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack into a direct attack on the person that you're comboing.
Back into
Okay.
gameplay here. Andrew's gonna pretty handily finish these other students off here. Win this
Look
duel.
how fast it is. It's like a dance.
D'accord,
Yeah,
donc
we
on va
really
pouvoir
felt like the,
régénérer sa santé.
we really
La
felt like
génération
in
de la
the
santé n'est
movies,
pas
there's almost
visiblement
like a-
automatique. Il va falloir ingérer des produits. Très bien.
It's kind of like there's this element of kind of like fencing from a very great distance.
That's such a good call.
And there are a lot of things that we had to do with our controls and combat system in order to kind of capitalize on that idea
beaten
that's pretty unique to the
blindfolded.
Wizarding world.
Yes.
Understandable.
Well, perhaps you should try that next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
Ok. Bon.
That is more or less gonna wrap it up for us for now, for what we wanted to show you. Character creator, tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we didn't want to leave you without, well, maybe a little taste of something that we may show in the future, may show next time. You know, so leaving the castle, going out here.
More owls confirmed.
Owl mail. There's the owlry again. Yes, all of the owls. But yeah, just heading out here again to show you like from Hogwarts to the world beyond Hogwarts. And
Oh man.
this is not somewhere where we're going
Regardez les
today,
amis
but, we'll
le
definitely be
paysage dans
taking you
lequel
in the
nous allons
future.
être durant 20, 30, 40 heures dans le jeu.
Little glimpse at the
L'école de
scale of the
Poudlard
castle
à ma
back there.
gauche
All
et
right,
le
so we're gonna wrap things
paysage
up
de
here,
Poudlard à
but,
ma droite.
I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen, but I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So
Yeah.
On
while
demande
we're
s'ils ont
done
des
with,
questions,
what
c'est
we're
la
showing
fin
on
du
gameplay
gameplay de
side,
présentation.
I know there's a few things that you want to pick Alan and Boston's brains
39
about.
minutes de
love
gameplay,
that.
40
There's a
minutes.
lot.
Ouais, c'était consistant. Mais on n'a pas vu quand même.
All right, so some of these questions.
On n'a pas vu, par
did
contre,
pull from the community,
le
secretly,
Quidditch,
but I did pull from the community.
les balais volants.
So,
Comment
And
la
also
maniabilité
from,
elle est.
going through this,
Est-ce qu'on
I
va
feel
pouvoir
like
faire
there-
du balai
yeah,
volant un peu
come up
partout,
with
sans être
some
forcément
things you
dans
wanna
une
talk a little
mission
more about,
secondaire ou
I'm sure.
principale, sans
Elaborate on
que
because we
ça
went
soit
through
scénarisé d'une manière ou d'une autre. Est-ce qu'on peut faire ça
customization,
librement
Hogwarts
ou alors
self-moving combat. So,
c'est
this would be like
des
something both
rails
of you guys,
scénaristiques
will
Si
we
c'est
be
ça,
able to go back
c'est pas
and
mieux.
change our
C'est
character's
voilà. Bon,
creation,
si
if
c'est
you will?
ça, bon, voilà. Mais c'est
So
mieux que rien,
not
quoi. Mais
everything,
bon, moi j'aimerais
but
bien
there
faire
are certain things,
du balai volant un
with
petit peu partout quand je
hairstyle,
veux,
hair
où je
color,
veux, en mission, pas en
so
mission,
kind of like
scénarisé,
core
et pas
shapes,
scénarisé.
you know,
Ça
like
serait
with
quand
the
même
body and
plutôt cool.
face,
Mais
not
je pense
after
qu'il se
the
regarde
fact.
quand même pour
But there are lots of
toute
things.
fin,
There's kind
voire
of
même
a
la sortie du
barbershop in
jeu,
Hogsmeade that you can go to.
pour dire
And
hey, il y a
and
du
there-
Quidditch,
Yeah.
hey, vous
Change
pouvez
your
faire
hair color
du
for
balai volant.
holidays or
Donc,
something.
je
Oh
pense
my gosh,
qu'ils
that
nous
would
le
be
gardent
so cool.
pour plus
The game
tard, je
features a
pense.
lot of appearance
Ça
customization.
me paraît quand même
in
légitime
it.
d'avoir
So
un balai
there's a
volant dans Harry
ton of
Potter.
options
Enfin,
there.
bon,
But
voilà.
that's
Et
in
le
terms of, like,
Quidditch,
your
je crois
character and
qu'à
stuff
un
that you have
moment
in character
donné, les
creator, it's
développeurs
like
avaient
a-
dit
it's
que
like a-
il n'y
a
aura pas de
smaller set of
Quidditch.
what you
Je
select.
crois qu'ils avaient
Okay.
dit ça. Et
Gosh, awesome,
j'espère,
Next question. What
j'espère,
kind of
parce que ça avait gueulé à
leisurely
l'époque, je me souviens quand,
activity
quand ça a été
can we
annoncé.
do, can we
J'espère
study
vraiment qu'ils se
with
sont
our free time?
repliés
what
sur
will we
leur,
doing just hanging out
leur
Hogwarts?
dire
Because
qu'ils travaillent
as you
sur
progress
une
through the game,
version.
there's a bunch of different missions
Parce
that
que
open
bon, le
up. Most
Quidditch,
of
en
them
vrai,
are
ça se
driven
joue
by
à
different
plusieurs dans le
characters'
film. On
personalities.
pourra faire
You know,
des
some of them want
compétitions en
help getting up
PvP
the
avec
hijinks,
d'autres
or
joueurs.
some of them want to just explore secrets
Pourquoi
in the
pas,
castle,
on devrait dire.
because
Pourquoi
there
pas
are
Ce
new
serait
secrets in
une
our
bonne idée,
castle
j'ai envie
to
de dire.
explore.
Donc,
And
bah,
so,
écoutez, on
so
verra.
I think,
Voilà.
there's a bunch of things to do, and when it comes to
Donc,
class, as I
reste à
mentioned
vérifier.
earlier, it's
Voilà.
not just
Mais
kind of
en
like the
tout cas,
mainline
c'était quand
stuff.
même une
There
assez
are kind of like
grosse
extracurricular
une
assignments,
assez grosse
some of which are
présentation
optional,
de
some of which
gameplay.
are
Le
kind
jeu
of
sort
like
en février
blockers
sur
for main mission.
PlayStation
Kind of like you
5,
can't go on this
Xbox
mission
Series
until
X
you
ne
have the
sortira
spell,
pas sur les autres
and then the
consoles parce que
spell
c'est
is
une
open
exclusivité
for the
next-gen.
assignment and how you complete it
Yeah,
with your professor.
Ok, pourquoi
And
pas,
so
mais il
there are
faut juste pas
opportunities
qu'ils nous fassent comme Gotham Knight où c'est
to
de la
study, so to
next-gen où le
speak,
jeu
like
est
with
pas
that,
dispo
but
sur
they're really,
PS4
they
ni
do
sur
all
Xbox One, il n'y a pas de 60
the
FPS.
form of
Faut
our
pas faire ça,
mission
les mecs.
structure.
Voilà,
As you
tu t'enterres
mentioned
une balle
earlier.
dans le pied si tu fais ça.
Wow.
Eh, c'est next-gen mon jeu. Ah, cool.
Let's get into
120
some combat
FPS?
right quick.
Non, 60.
Do
Ah, non.
spells have different
30 FPS,
levels,
grand
or
max.
are they all
Ok.
equal?
Bref.
Spells have different levels, or are they all equal? I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So each spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game, with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and enemy combat and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then it's through the talent system,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance and grow and change.
Okay.
And as you spend talents, in some cases, it even changes like the way you approach the battlefield and things like that. So I'd say that's no more true than with like dark arts, for example.
Right.
And as you go down that line and you kind of play around with those talents, it really does start to kind of like affect even how you approach combat and how you think about the battlefield.
I won't be touching the dark art stuff, but I know many of you guys will be.
Maybe on your second playthrough?
Yeah, second playthrough, yes.
Okay.
Dark Hufflepuff coming, hashtag soon. I want to close off with this question, and this will be for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long and the excitement you guys have, what's one aspect of Hogwarts Legacy that you are excited for the fans to experience? Boston.
I think I'm just excited for the fans to play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those books again. I hope that either whether you're already a fan and love this game, or this is your first introduction into the world, I hope they just point at each other in the best way possible. And I'm just excited for fans to get to finally go to Hogwarts and feel like they can own it and live there. I've lived there for 5 years. It's a great place to live. Official 5th year.
Bah, ils sont contents de ce qu'ils ont vu, ils ont la hype, ils ont hâte de jouer, tout le monde est
I
content.
want to give a different answer, and I will. But I actually feel like the most honest answer is really similar. Because my favorite thing when running around, playing the game, and getting to know Hogwarts the way Boston knows it, because she knows the school and the lore better than I do, and thank God, right? Because you want the person architecting it to really know that.
Yeah.
But when I rewatch the films or I'm rereading passages from the books, there's a different relationship to those things having played the game.
Right.
And so it's really looking over the edge and seeing seeing location, I'm like, oh my God, I'm right there. And in the movie saying, I know what's around that corner in the film. Like if you go down this way, there's actually a thing over here, and there's this person over here, and this thing happened, and it just adds all this richness to everything that you already love.
And not just that, but you're going to add your own story.
Yeah.
So you know what happens around that corner because you did something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the quick answer, just to have something different, is I just love being on a broom. I just love looking at the whole world and just being like, okay, I can just go.
I can go there.
That vantage point, yeah.
There's just something exhilarating about it that feels very different in that kind of open air and on that thing. It just like, it's kind of incredible, yeah.
And wrapping it up, you know, for me, it's just bringing the community together with it and sharing those stories, because it is your story, and you are going to be writing. You know, this is your unique experience within this, and even within the things that are the same, it's going to be your unique experience. It's different from mine. It's different from. We're all approaching it from different places, and I think that's going to be really cool, the way that everybody brings those things together. All right, and that's everything that we have to show you today. I know maybe it wasn't everything you wanted to see, but it was a whole lot of stuff. Character creator, a little mini tour of Hogwarts there, just a small part of it, a little bit of combat. And we do have some more stuff coming up for you in the future. Hogwarts Legacy releases on February 10th, 2023, and is available for pre-order now. But that's going to do it from us. We're going to leave you with a little something else. But for now, bye.
Bye.
Voilà les amis, c'est fini pour la présentation de Hogwarts Legacy. J'espère que ça vous aura plu, et sincèrement les amis, je trouve qu'il y a eu quand même visuellement quelque chose d'améliorer, quelque chose de beaucoup mieux, quelque chose de beaucoup plus peaufiné, beaucoup mieux. Donc, ouais, franchement, je suis agréablement surpris. Voilà, j'ai quand même un peu plus envie de jouer au jeu. J'ai trouvé que... Excusez-moi. Voilà les amis. Bon, bah c'était franchement pas mal. Franchement, non mais voilà, je tiens à être assez honnête, assez direct avec vous. Vous le savez, je n'aime pas mentir. Hein. Voilà, quand quelque chose que je n'aime pas, bah je n'aime pas. Quand quelque chose que j'aime, bah je l'aime et je le dis. Là, au début, j'aimais pas du tout. Hogwarts Legacy, je me suis dit, mais visuellement, je trouve ça daté, je trouve ça bof. Et là, les amis, véritablement, alors attention, c'est pas la claque next-gen absolue, hein, attention. Hein, mais, je trouve qu'il y a véritablement un gap de qualité qui a augmenté. Voilà. Donc, évidemment, reste à voir manette en main, hein, ce que cela procurera sur Xbox aussi. Hein, faut pas oublier, parce que bon, j'ai quand même les deux consoles. Voilà, je le redis pour ceux qui ne savent pas. On verra ce que ça peut donner. On verra. Hein. Donc voilà les amis, j'espère que ce live sur Hogwarts Legacy vous aura plu. N'hésitez pas à liker, à commenter, à partager. Il y a d'autres contenus qui vous attendent sur la chaîne YouTube. Et oui, c'est vrai que là on a eu une semaine absolument délirante. Bah oui, regardez. Regardez un petit peu. God of War Ragnarok en direct sur la chaîne YouTube, découverte de la première heure de jeu, le Handy World les amis, et oui, le Handy World avec moult annonces de petits jeux indépendants sur la Nintendo Switch, et aussi bah forcément des vidéos preview de plusieurs jeux que j'ai pu tester en direct de la Paris Games Week. Vous avez été très nombreux à regarder les vidéos, merci à tous. Un magnifique stand PlayStation, mais un fou furieux pour God of War Ragnarok. Je vous invite fortement à aller le voir. Le vlog de la Paris Games Week, les amis, juste ici, hop là, ici, juste au-dessus de moi. Oh coucou, c'est moi. Et voilà, Sonic Frontiers qui véritablement a déchiré la pression 2, a déchiré les joueurs, même les plus grands fans de Sonic. Bon, bah c'est pas grave. Qu'est-ce qu'il vaut réellement? Bah je vous en parle dans ma preview. Mon émission d'Halloween Horror in Live, qui est là, elle vous attend. N'hésitez pas à aller la voir. Franchement, c'est une bonne émission. Hein, voilà. Call of Duty aussi, hein, Phantom Manor aussi. Bref, les amis, il y en a pour tout le monde, il y en a pour tous les goûts sur ma chaîne YouTube. On est là, on est posé, on est une espèce de petite famille sympathique. J'espère que les amis, ça vous aura plu. N'hésitez pas à liker, à commenter, à partager. Allez, ciao tout le monde, c'était The Creative Man en direct sur la chaîne YouTube pour de Hogwarts Legacy. Je rappelle, le jeu sortira en février 2023, le 14 ou le 20, je ne sais plus, mais je revérifierai ça de mon côté après le live tranquille.